Today I'm going to teach you how to earn free cruises and free money. First, let's start with the free money. On day 1 or day 2 of your Royal Caribbean cruise, you want to go to the casino when it opens. Well, really you got the first 2 days to do this. You're going to go there and you're going to put your SeaPass card in the machine. It'll turn green if you have it correctly in there. If not, reinsert it. There's buttons on the bottom of the machine, and if you select account and then personal banker, it's going to ask for your 4-digit PIN, and that will be, at least to start, it will be your 2-digit birth month and your 2-digit birthday. And so if your birthday is September 4th, you're going to do 0904. Punch that in and you'll get an opportunity to change your PIN to something that's a little harder to figure out. Select My Rewards Total to see the balance that you have. Once you know how much money you have, you're going to go back and then go to Transfer and then Transfer to the game. You can select all or partial of that. Whatever amount you select, you will be expected to play the entire dollar amount that you're given on that machine. So if you happen to have gotten a higher total, you may not want to spend the entire 100 on one machine. You may want to pick $10 or $20. Granted, if you've never done this before, you're probably talking more like $2, $4, $6. Even the seasoned people, it's random, so you really don't know who's going to get the higher totals, but most of the time you're talking somewhere in that $2 to $10 or $12 range. From there, select free play, and then if your total matches one of the amounts that's on there, then go ahead and push that. If it's a different amount, just push other and put in the dollar amount with no decimal points. So if it's $12, you'll put in 12, not 12 point anything. Then all you got to do is press enter and you got it. Now, when you're playing, and let's just say you get in there and you have $2, and on your first dollar you win $10 or whatever. You cannot cash out. You have to use the $2 that's given to you, and then you're allowed to cash out. So if you won $10, you could take 10, but you'd still, that other dollar they gave you, then you would still need to play that. And obviously if that's a higher total, you're going to want to make sure that you play all that through so you're not leaving money on the table there. So if you're going in there and you're going to play the slot machines, then you can go ahead and just put cash right in those machines. It will accept your cash, and you can start playing, or you can use your SeaPass card and whatever money you have on your account that you've set up with the card on file. Some people actually put cash on file, and you can just use that. Same process as far as on the machine, withdrawing it as to where you got your free play. You'll just push the correct buttons for the money and use your SeaPass account to pull that out. It's a little too easy, so be careful. So next, let's talk about how you get the points. When you are playing the table games, you're not going to get the same exchange rate, so to speak, for points. It's very subjective. Usually you're going to want to play for about an hour, and they're going to take your card when you first start, and they're going to be watching how much you are playing per hand, how active you are. If you're just playing a hand or two, you're not going to really get the points that you're looking for. A lot of people will, if they're playing the machines, maybe they like the poker games. Those poker games, you can get points on them, but they don't pay as well as the slot machines. The slot machines have the best pay rate in regards to gathering points, as you will get 1 point for every $5 spun through the machine. That doesn't mean you have to spend $5 per spin. It'll accumulate. So if you're doing it $1 at a time, or 88 cents at a time, or 75 cents at a time, like we do, then you're going to be able to get those points racked up without necessarily spending the big bucks on that. So when you're playing the slot machines, you can play that at any denomination, and it will accumulate your points and keep track of that on the screen. It's important to know that the casino itself, their yearly run of the casino time, fiscal year, however you want to put that, will run from April 1st of that year to March 31st of the next year. So you will accumulate points from April 1st all the way through. So if you're doing multiple cruises, this is a way to gain points to try to get different statuses, but a little at a time without necessarily breaking the bank and putting all your money out and being done in one cruise, or in some cases one day. So earning that 2,500 points, whether that be on one cruise or that be multiple cruises, that will get you a free tier cruise, which is a 7-night cruise. There does have to be rooms available on those cruises when you're booking it, so you'll want to plan ahead. And you'll be able to take a person with you, so it's good for 2 people, and it's good for ships. Typically, they will cut off ships that are newer than a year. I've seen that even with 2 years. With Wonder of the Seas, we had to wait a little bit for that. If that's actually one that we're going to be going on this year rather than last year. Technically, I think we should have been able to, but we're pretty happy to be going anyway. We'll be doing that twice just based on the free cruises. So again, opportunity to earn free cruises there. But you can also get free cruises while you're on board without hitting 2,500 by ways of an instant cruise certificate. And that can change as far as month to month. Most of the time that's hitting 1,200 points on a sailing. There is times where it'll be 800 points per sailing. You're going to want to know what that is if you're trying to target a free cruise. It does not mean a free cruise of whatever you want. It is a select amount of cruises that will be available to you to select from. And those cruise options are going to change based on how many points you have. So just because you've gotten, say, the 1,200 points and you've got a free cruise, if you get to 1,500 points, there's going to be a different set of cruises available. It'll include usually what's there plus more, and then 2,000, and then I believe it's, if it's 2,500 or if it's 3,000. But at those different tiers, it'll open up opportunities to take longer cruises, different cruises, a wider variety of cruises. And again, that's a cruise for 2 people. And on those, a lot of times you get free play. So again, it goes back to trying to get that free money. If you're doing it and you're playing it and you're close to the totals, you might want to look at that. There is one of those codes where you can scan with your phone, and it'll tell you the cruises that are available, and then you can look at each one of the tiers that are out there, and you'll be able to see if you're maybe wanting to look at or target a cruise to get a point total. You can do that. We actually did that on our last cruise. We were up there on points, and we realized on the tiers that we were very close to getting a cruise to go overseas. Transatlantic cruise, 12 nights, and that was one of our bucket lists that we were going to do in 2026, and we were thinking we were going to do Panama in 2025, but we were so close to the point total that we just went ahead and played a little more to enjoy a free cruise, transatlantic cruise going from Miami to Spain. So pretty sweet, and that was something, again, you can plan out. We got free money on that. We both hit a certain level to where we got the free cruise and we both have free play. We combined our offers. The codes on those offers have to be similar on the beginning, and the number at the end of 6 or 7, those can be different. You can combine those even though she's not necessarily getting a free cruise out of it. There's only so much obvious vacation time that someone has to do this, so we just combine the offers to get an upgraded room, and now we have a 12-night cruise on an upgraded room. She had free play that came with it, free money. I had free money, free play, and it's just an opportunity. Plus, we went to NextCruise. When we did that, you have to do that when you're doing these instant cruise certificates. You must do NextCruise before you get off the ship. It can be done on your phone. It can also be done by filling out the paper at the NextCruise desk and dropping it in the box. You can just drop it in the box, and no one even has to be there. And make sure you get that done so you can get everything that you can. But with the NextCruise, there is free money. So you do the NextCruise, you pay a deposit, and the deposit is $200. Granted, you're getting a free cruise, so what they'll do with that is they will put that towards your taxes and port fees. That way that money isn't, you're not losing anything, you're not paying for anything. When you book the cruise, that's what they're going to use for those port fees and taxes. It's money that's going to have to be spent anyway, and by putting it in the drop box, like I said, if you do it before you leave and you haven't done it online on their app, they'll just take it from the card that's on file, make sure that card is on file and you have room for it, because you don't want that to go by the wayside. You know, again, that you can combine offers to even get some better cruises, to get a better room, and to use free play. If there's 2 people that have free play, you both get it. So while you're on the ship, if you go Prime, you're going to want to go to the casino host, and they will put a sticker on your card that says Prime, and with that you'll be able to get free drinks in the casino. That will be not just for that cruise, but for that year, and then the following year. So when you're getting those free cruises from the instant cruise certificate, those aren't necessarily an up to 7-day cruise like the tier cruise is. While it's a lower amount of cruises available, sometimes the cruises that'll be available can be longer. It might be 8-night. The one I was just telling you about, 12-night, I've seen 14-night. So there are many options to look at, and it's always a good idea to have your phone with you so you can scan that and see what you're looking to target. With those offers, there's sometimes free money involved, so take advantage of that. That'll automatically put on there. But when you're booking your cruise, mention that it's there so the person that's on the other end of there knows that goes on there, and verify that so you don't miss out on anything. They're human, mistakes happen, and we've caught it on our own where we hung up the phone, did it, and we were like, wait a minute, we didn't talk about that. Called back, oh yeah, I see that now, put it on there. So it's going to be up to you a little bit to follow through to make sure that you've got what you deserve to. again, people are human, and once things have passed and papers are thrown away and all that kind of stuff, they're not going to be able to go back and correct that for you in most cases. And it's really not anything other than kind of a mutual fault of making sure that you tell them what your offer is and that they're able to see that on their end. So they're not trying to cheat you. They want to help you out and make your vacation as good as possible. So remember, when you're doing that, they're there to help you, and they're always very, very good, and they're usually just thanking you for being a loyal member. When you're doing the NextCruise and you get that paperwork filled out, or if you're doing it online, there'll be an opportunity there. You'll automatically get free money in the form of onboard credit, and that'll be based on the room size that you get. So an interior room might be $50, whereas a suite might be $600. You're going to want to check that out and make sure that you've got the right information, so you're booking what you're expecting to book and getting the things back that you want to get back and that you were planning for. You don't want any surprises. One of my favorite ways to get free cruises actually isn't either of the above. I like those free cruises too, but this one here I feel like less people know about, or at least know completely about it, and that is when you're doing your points that you just normally accrue. They keep track of all that. So even if it's 200 points that you get just in the sailing, which from a gambling standpoint is not a lot, you're going to get some offers. Now, a lot of those offers, when you're talking about between 200 and 300 points, that's what I did on my first time through. The first thing I got was money off of offers. So it'd be $100 off a cruise, $200 off of a cruise. And I was passing on those because on our first cruise, my wife was really the one that was racking up the points. We kind of focused on her card so we could get the points up to a higher total, and then we kind of looked a little bit more at mine. And on mine, it took me a while, but I got some free cruise offers just based on those few hundred points. And she had gotten, I believe, 500 or 600 points. And her first time through, she just had a list of cruises to get. It was like, oh my gosh. That was 2022. That was our first cruise, was in September of 2022. And she just got a mammoth amount of offers. We're just in shock as how easy it was. We had already booked a cruise of our own because we liked it so much. That was in November. It was like $190 flash sale. So we weren't able to use it on that, but we ended up using, we just kind of went on a roll in booking cruises, because as we cruised, we kept getting offers, and we luckily had the time to work with it. And knowing that it was a free cruise and not being too big of a deal to get where we're wanting to go, we made it work for us. So when you're doing that, the point totals that you're getting, the higher you go up on that, the better your chances are going to be of getting the cruises that you want, or the offers that you want. And those will come in the form of like a monthly thing that they'll have, the September, October, November that they'll have. But they'll also have some other stuff that's going to be offered to you, and that could be just random things that they've got going on, random promotions. So if you really want to make sure you've got the most up-to-date information, and the links that'll get you there as well, if you're online, just go to clubroyaleoffers.com. So when you get to the website, it's going to ask for the number of your Crown and Anchor. It'll actually say, I think, your player number or something like that, but it's actually your Crown and Anchor number that is used for all that identifies you for any sailing that you do, and you're going to need to put that in there along with your name, and it will pop up, and you should be able to see everything that is yours. They'll match it up and see all the offers. Know that those things can change. You might look at it today and go, okay, well, I don't like that, or these are awesome. I'll do that when I got more time tomorrow. Make sure you notice the expiration date on those so it doesn't go away on you, and also know that you may get something in the next day because it falls into their time they're releasing another promo. So keep an eye on that. It is not something that is always, that I always catch an email. I don't know if that is a situation to where maybe I'm getting blocked out by spam on time, or maybe I'm missing it. But if I'm going there and specifically looking at all the different offers, usually there's a link on each one of those, because there'll be a pretty good list here. You can just scroll through that, see the dates that are available. There will be a link to touch, and that will on your screen pop up that offer as far as the different dates that are out there for that particular sailing. And obviously you'll want to look at where the cruise port is that it's going, where it's, how long it's be going, all that information before you book it. Now when you're getting these offers, they are going to be a bit seasonal. Now the things that you've earned, your cruise certificates and all that, that's kind of a different deal. But when you're looking at those points where you've gotten a few hundred points for the sailing and you're hoping to get offers, you'll tend to see that on their busy times, those summer months when the kids are out of school and all that, or holidays, again, kind of the same thing. People are looking to book stuff. you're not going to really see those offers during those peak times. The best time is really going to be in that fall and early winter time. That's when you're going to see a lot of those free cruise offers extend. With the opportunities I've given you through Royal, there are some other opportunities with other casinos that will partner through to some of these places, and you can use their point system to go there. So I believe MGM is connected with Royal Caribbean to be able to sort of intertwine the points that you got there and offers, and maybe getting some stuff with MGM as far as how many points you got to get there to earn dollars off or free cruises from one to the next. I've also seen there's other companies out there like Comp, which is the letter U, letter R, and then Compt, and they'll have some offers that they'll want you to send in kind of proof of the offers that you've received, so they kind of know what level you're rolling as a casino person, what level you're rolling, and you'll get offers from that just for free cruises with some other cruise companies if that's what you're wanting to do. So it doesn't really matter which cruise line you're on and what the program is. If you're getting free offers, you're going to be able to send that to them and go through that process there. I got to tell you, I have not personally done that since we already are getting offers that are plentiful for us. For Royal Caribbean, we like the sailings, we like the offerings. We're just kind of sticking with that. So I don't want to tell you about another company that I haven't really used, other than to make you aware that it's out there if you want to look further into it. There's a lot of people I'm seeing putting online that is an opportunity for people to get some free cruises, and that's what this video is about, getting free cruises. So take advantage of any of those that hit you. I always like to try to stay loyal to one, at least that's my plan, and it's working out because we've done it in the 2 years. We've made what they call the diamond level as far as with the cruise line itself, and so that's given us some free perks there with some free internet and free drinks anywhere, whereas the Prime gets us all the drinks we want, and those will be available at the casino bar only. That's where you're going to go. That's where you're going to get your free drinks. You can't get it somewhere else. It'll be there, at least for now. So usually when someone's looking at these free cruises, or you're telling somebody about them, at least in my experience, what I've seen is there tends to be an assumption that you're losing more money than you're playing through, and so therefore it's not worth it. Why are you doing that? You're a fool. You've been suckered into their plan, and that's not the case. We've walked away from several of these hitting jackpots, but the way we play it, and when I say, we're not going broke, we play the minimum bet on slot machines. We're playing 50 cents. We're playing 75 cents. We were on Odyssey of the Seas in March, and I had hit a jackpot that was, actually it wasn't even a jackpot, I hit a line hit that was over $1,600 playing a 75-cent bet. So those opportunities are there, and it was on that same cruise that my wife hit a jackpot that was just under $1,200, which is nice because the taxes don't come into play when it's under $1,200, so it's all good. So yeah, you can win. Things can be great. You don't have to just lose, and when you're doing the minimum bet, at least for what we're looking for, we're not trying to gamble to get free cruises. We're gambling because we gamble when we're on land. We enjoy gambling, and part of our entertainment dollar that we've already planned to spend out there, and that entertainment dollar, if we went to a baseball game or any of the other things that are out there, that's money, again, you're already planning to get out and spend, and not worrying about, oh gosh, I just lost this or that, and how much you lost. I want everybody to gamble responsibly. I've seen, obviously, I've heard the stories of tragedy on that, so what I would tell you is, for whatever you're gambling, whatever dollar amount, gamble what you can afford, gamble with a plan. And again, if you just don't want to take the big risks, bet the minimums. If you look, a lot of those games, the different jackpots, they'll stay the same no matter what you're betting. And some of them will give you a reduced version of it if you're betting lower. But the jackpots are still there that can be very sizable. So knowing which machines you're playing, the low volatility machines with a chance to have some of those big hits, that's fun. I mean, if you haven't, try to imagine winning $1,600 betting 75 cents on a machine. Or in my wife's case, she was betting 50 cents on a machine and get the almost $1,200. So that's exciting. You talk about the people that are hitting jackpots and they're spending $10 to spin, $25 to spin, $50, $100, whatever it is, and like, oh, I hit a jackpot. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're betting $100 and you hit a jackpot, which is basically $1,200, then it's going to be like 12 times your bet. So you do that on betting $1 and you win $12. It's the same thing, but you're not putting out the ridiculous amount of money to try to hit that. And some people will look at a hand pay and think that that's the end all be all, when really, yeah, but how much did it cost you to get there? And that goes back to when I was saying people might assume you're just losing your ass and then getting free cruises, and sure, because that's what you're doing. It's not always the case. Like I said, we bet the minimum, and if we're winning, we may play a little bit more on that one that we earned some free cruises on. I told you we hit the jackpot and we were looking for dollar levels, so we were able to kind of play a little bit more and decide that we were going to do that with our winnings rather than to maybe let the opportunity go and not get a particular cruise. So we played on intentionally a little bit more than we had planned because we had the winnings on it. So when they're looking at your play habits, it actually helps you to bet low, because one of the things that they're looking at is how long you're in the casino, not necessarily how much you're betting. So if you go in there and you lose or win, and you play an hour and you've put $1,000 through, then that's going to look like you were there for only an hour, and maybe you lost 1,000, maybe you won. That's not going to help you get casino perks. Whereas we might budget whatever the dollar is. Maybe it's 300, maybe it's 500, maybe it's 1,000. That money, when we're doing this on the low bets, we're winning a lot. We're getting more spins because we're betting low. We have more money to get more spins to potentially get jackpots, or potentially get just more money in lower wins to help us continue to play. And that shows the time in the chair that we've spent. Like, oh my goodness, they've just spent 4 hours in the casino on this day, and 2 hours that day, and 3 hours this day, and an hour here. And they're looking at that time, and because we're doing those low bets and we're winning some of those spins, it's counting that, not just time, but it's counting the money that's cycled through the machine. So you could have $300 and that be your budget, but if you're winning or kind of breaking even, that $300 might look like 700, 900, 1,000, 2,000 that you're cycling through the machine, and it's all of a sudden it's seeing the points adding up. It's like, wow, this person has put 1,000 points he's gotten that and spent all this time. That's great. $1,000 cycled through the machine is different than going over to a table and putting down 5 or 10 bets for $1,000, and again, win or lose, walking away, because the time is not there in the casino that they do monitor. So there's a balance when you're trying to get these free cruises the way I'm talking about here, to where it's just the accumulation of points. We do it for the entertainment. We're not there for just the points. We will watch the points. So if we want to hit a certain tier level for a cruise, we can do that. So plan ahead. So if you're trying to figure out which machines give you the best chance, first of all, you can enjoy any of them, but the volatility level, that's available online. So if you know that there's some favorite machines that you're wanting to play when you get on the ship and you don't have an internet package, or maybe you've only got it for a moment because you're in port to where you can get an internet connection, you can look up those games and find out if it's a high volatility, medium volatility, low volatility, and kind of plan accordingly as to what you're wanting to do. So we tend to stick to the low and medium volatility games, and then depending on how we're doing, we'll sometimes bounce up to something that's more of a higher volatility. What you end up with those higher volatility games, what that means is you're going to get a lot of blank hits that you don't get anything, and versus the low volatility to where you get some hits that sort of keep you going. You still may lose, but it's going to keep you playing longer, and again, we're there for the entertainment. So on those high volatility games, there's a much better chance you're going to lose money. Much better chance. However, if you happen to hit one of the big jackpots, it's a big jackpot. Again, the reason I'm telling you that I think low is the way to go is, as I've already explained, we've already hit jackpots of over $1,000 betting 50 cents and betting 75 cents. So for me, for the entertainment dollar, I'd rather not take all those risks of doing that and finding myself in an unhappy spot. I've seen other people, other content creators has said, hey, man, I got to roll back on what I'm playing because these free cruises are costing me too much. And it may have for them, but that's what I'm telling you not to do, unless that's who you are and that's how you want to play it. If you're trying to follow the reason you click this video is to earn those free cruises and without losing your head, without losing your butt, the low and slow way is the way to do it. Bet it low and take your time, enjoy the game, enjoy what's going on. If you've got if you're wanting to have a few drinks, you can enjoy your cocktails there. Most of the time, they'll come right to you, get your drink order from you, so you don't have to go anywhere. And a lot of times what my wife and I'll do is we'll basically play the same game. So I'll have my card in, and I'll sit there and hit the button that is the spin that's on the left, and she'll be one hitting it on the right, and we'll just sort of take turns hitting it. So that way we're both enjoying the game, we're getting to spend time with each other, and we're accumulating points on whatever card is in there. And then if we've hit a particular level on points, a lot of times she'll take over the main seat and she'll sit there, and I'll be hitting it back and forth, and we'll go that route. And it works really well for us because we both end up making prime. And it's not necessarily a goal for us to make prime. When we first started cruising, it was probably a bigger deal. We drank a little bit more, particularly since it was like our first cruise and we didn't know. And it's like, party and let's take advantage of, the drink package. And now we just enjoy the free drinks in the cruise and the status drinks they give us since we've cruised a bit. If you found this video helpful and informative, please consider liking the channel and subscribing. If you hit notifications, you'll even get to know when the new videos come out. Also, if you don't mind sharing the video, and if you found it informative and somebody else going on a cruise, let them know where we're at. We'd appreciate that, as we're getting ready to grow this channel into hopefully something that everybody is looking forward to looking at when they're planning their next cruise. Thank you for watching. Bye.